Hey y'all, it's Jamie. Welcome back to Cottage Hodgepodge, my YouTube channel where I share with you my sales from eBay each week. My store is also called Cottage Hodgepodge on eBay, and I sell vintage and modern items. And this is the week of September 12th through 18th, so the third week in September. And my total sales were $198.30, so a little bit less than last week. I was hoping that we were gonna start climbing each week for fourth quarter, but that's okay. We'll see how it goes moving forward. My cost of goods sold was $9.83. So with eBay fees considered and money set aside for income tax, etc., my take-home profit was about $111. So the first item to sell was 4 of these. It doesn't show here, but I know that it was 4 were purchased of the Old Town Blue saucers. This is my favorite Corel pattern personally. I have a large collection. I have a mix and match collection of about 4 of the patterns, but the most of it is this pattern because it's my favorite. And so my description here is vintage Corel 6-inch saucer Pyrex Old Town Blue onion pattern 70s boho. And I had a total of 14 of these listed, and I've sold them all now. But actually, I had an order that was canceled. The person thought they were dessert plates and then realized they were the saucer, and they had ordered 5 of them. So I need to go check on that because I know I still have some. So anyway, this person purchased 4 of them at $3 each. And that was full price, so that was nice. And so that was a $12 sell. And my cost on these is right around 50 cents each, approximately. Whenever I see any Corel for around 50 cents per piece, I buy whatever I find. So this is one of my favorite things to collect personally and to resell as well. Next up is the last 2 of the dessert bowls for the Ruby Red 1876 Cape Cod collection. Obviously not made in 1876, that's the name of the collection. These were made in the 1980s. They're ruby red glass, really pretty. Not something I collect, but I found a whole lot of them at an estate sale, and I bought the whole box for around 50 cents an item. And this is the last 2 of the dessert bowls. I still have several other items available, but the last 2 of the dessert berry bowls sold this week for $8.80 each. So and then my cost was around 50 cents on those. Next is something that my husband had purchased quite a while back. This is an 1880 Indian head scent. It's from the Philadelphia Mint. It was circulated. It is not certified. It's just in a cardboard holder. And so this was something that he decided to list when he decided he wanted to join in on the fun and start selling things with me on eBay. So this is a close-up. Oh, you know what? That close-up is probably behind my head. Let's do this. There's a close-up of the coin. So it has some condition issues, but it sold for $18.99. So that was a pretty good profit on that. I'm pretty sure he paid $1 for that when he bought it a few years back. Next is another Hawthorne dinner plate. This is the last one. I had 3 of them, and all 3 have sold now. $12.80. Oh, I'm sorry, no. This is the dinner plate. I only had 1 of these. So this is the larger one, the 10-inch. So this is a Pyrex JAJ with the crown in the logo. This is JAJ is the English version of Pyrex, made in England in the 60s. And I'm not sure how well that's going to show up, but there's the logo there. Hopefully you can see it. So my description was vintage Pyrex JAJ crown Hawthorne green dinner plate with gold band, 10 inches, 1960s, made in England. And it did have a few scratches around the edges, which I made sure to get good pictures of so they knew exactly what they were getting. And it sold for $12.80, and my cost on that was about $3. I paid up a little bit for that Pyrex when we bought it a while back when we had our vintage booth. Next is a Firefighter Ornament. These are starting to sell weekly, which makes me very happy because I've got about 200 of them. This one is a Kurt Adler. There have been several Kurt Adlers in the mix, and that was not anything I had ever heard of, but he appears to be very collectible because I've sold at least 3 already that are Kurt Adler, and only 1 or 2 Hallmark, 1 Sterling ink, which was another one I hadn't heard of, but of the few that I've sold so far, Kurt Adler is the majority of them. And this actually, this person bought both of these. Yes, this person bought both of these. I had 2 of the exact same one. They bought them both $8.80 each. And actually, they got a 20% discount, or a 10% discount, because I have a volume discount on all of my ornaments. So if you buy 2, you get 10% off both of them. If you buy 3, you get 15, and if you buy 4, you get 20% off each ornament. So I was hoping that that would be a draw for people to purchase multiples, but so far this is the first sale that I've had of multiple quantity on the ornaments. So my description on this is vintage Kurt Adler Firefighter mouse, clay. It was made of clay. Christmas ornament with metal bucket and red. Included the word red as I had a little space left. And those cost me about 38 cents each. Next is a tie beanie baby. I bought at the same estate sale where I got the ruby red Avon collections. I bought a large lot of bears, a few beanie babies, a few Boyd's bears, and so far they are not selling. This was the first one that actually sold. I'm hoping that this will start a trend, hoping that they will sell at Christmas time, if nothing else. I might have jumped the gun on that, but I didn't pay much, less than 50 cents per bear. So worst case scenario, I'll donate them and that'll be fine. Somebody will get some cute bears. So, but we'll definitely ride it out through the Christmas season, if not longer, to see what happens. So this one is a tie beanie baby Salty. It's a plush brown jointed teddy bear in a navy nautical sweater from 1993. He was really adorable and in really great shape. He sold for $12.80, which was my full asking price, and my cost was just under 50 cents for that bear. And I actually sold, this is one other bear item, but it's not a bear, it is an ornament, and it was from that same estate sale, same lot of items that I purchased, so around 50 cents. This one is a Hallmark Gift Bearers is the collection, teddy bear ornament with moving joints. It was number 5 in the series from 2003. And I went ahead and put new old stock because even though a lot of people store their ornaments in the original boxes, so I typically don't put new on ornaments even if they're in the box because most of the time they have been used. But this one did not appear to have ever been opened. Looked completely brand new. So I went ahead and put that, and then, but I did put new other for the condition. And then I said, appears to be new old stock, looks completely unused. Ornament, memory card, and box are in great shape. So I did, clarify to any buyer that I wasn't positive that it was new old stock, but that it certainly looked like it. So they sent me an offer for $10 and I accepted that. I think I had it listed for $12.80. And my cost was around 50 cents on that item. Next is an Attire Women's New York Golf. I guess it's Attire New York. Got women's there in the middle of the name of the company somehow. But it's a golf or tennis skirt, size 12 petite. It's very stretchy, obviously made for playing sports of some sort, and it was a bright blue and had a nice ruffle edge. So this one was in really good shape, and it wasn't a brand I had heard of before, but it did sell very quickly, so I think maybe it's a desirable brand. And it sold for $15 on best offer. I think I had it listed for $18.80, and it's one that I bought at the thrift store that sells close for 45 cents on Tuesdays, so that was my cost on this item. Next is a lot of Thanksgiving figurines that we got in an auction lot. I think these were the only thing in the lot, and we paid $1 for the lot. So that my total cost of goods was $1 for all of them, $1.15 if you include the auction fee, because there is a 15% auction fee with the auction house that we have found in our area that we like to watch their auctions. In fact, my husband's bidding on one right now as we speak. So my description on this is Thanksgiving figurines, 6 inches tall, lot of seven, pilgrims, American Indians, and a turkey. So this sold for $12.80, my full asking price, and it sold the day after I listed it. So definitely get your holiday stuff listed if you don't have it listed yet. Thanksgiving and Christmas, and definitely Halloween. I don't have any Halloween stuff listed, but I'm sure it is time for that to be selling. Next is something else that sold very quickly. This is a lot of 5 small like lap chalkboards that a teacher would use in a classroom probably. We went to an estate auction, or it was an online auction, but we went and picked up several lots that we won. And what was really neat, that there were actually 2 auctions within a couple days of each other that said on the listing that they were sister houses, and then it said literally sisters. The 2 sisters lived within a few blocks of each other, and they had many of the same items. And what has been really cool about doing these estate auctions and going to estate sales, sometimes you get to talk to the family and hear stories, but through this auction, even though we didn't meet the people or hear any stories or anything, through going through their items, we've learned so much about them. We feel they were sisters who it seems like were never married because they had the same last name through the everything that we found, and it looks like they probably were teachers. They definitely were teachers, and it looks like they traveled abroad and probably taught English. Is such a typical thing to do, and so they have a lot of really neat school supplies that are vintage and really cool. And then they also have a lot of really neat travel memorabilia. So we bought several lots of items and have had a lot of fun going through them and kind of imagining their story as we went through them. So that's been really neat to do. So anyway, this lot is 5 of 6.5 by 8.5 chalkboards with wooden frames around the edge. And I put on the description that there was a lot of markings on the frames themselves and these stickers that I couldn't get off. And so I put, these would be great for crafting if somebody wanted to paint the frames or do something with them. Hopefully that's what's going to happen with them. So there was a total of 5 of them, and I sold them for $28.80. And my cost for that entire lot of school supplies was, I think, $6 if I remember correctly. And there are tons of items in it that I'm listing. So way less than 50 cents per item for my cost of goods for each of these that I'm listing from that lot of items. Immediately after those sold, another set of chalkboards sold from the same lot. These were really neat as well. There's 2 of them, and they were 12 by 18, much larger. They didn't have a frame border, but they had this yellow line around them. Kind of gives you that vintage feel, and it says a school supply company, and it has an address in Oak Lawn, Illinois, and made in the USA. Those were really neat as well. And those also had some markings that I couldn't get off of them. So I made sure to disclose that in the description as well. Another thing I'm noticing here is the shipping. $10.04. We have started doing calculated shipping on anything that's not first class. Obviously, we do $4.99 shipping for everything first class, which is sometimes a little bit high and sometimes a little bit low, but it just kind of all comes out in the wash. Every once in a while we pay, you know, $5.06 or $5.38 for an item that we only charged $4.99 for, but then every once in a while we pay like $3.68 or $4.09. You know, the prices are weird, so that kind of balances out. But we've lost money a couple times on larger items or items that are awkwardly shaped or that aren't proportionate. They're large but not very heavy, or very heavy but small, and so they don't fit the matrix there. So we have started doing calculated shipping, and that's working out better for us. Next item is an ornament, a firefighter. This one is another wooden pull string ornament. I had a pull string last week that was a Santa. This one's a Santa. He was a Santa firefighter. This one's a firefighter, and he's got, in my description is vintage wooden pull string firefighter hanging ornament, yellow, black, and red. And those, I had a total, I think, of 3 of the pull string ornaments, and they all sold. So those seem to be something to be on the lookout for, the wooden pull string ornaments that were so popular. They're really cool vintage items. And last for this week is a cardigan, Dreamers asymmetric open cardigan, gray with multicolored geometric knit pattern. And this was beautiful. I really wanted to keep it for myself, but I went ahead and listed it and said if it sells, it sells, and it did. I listed it for $28.80. I had a 20% off sale going for a while on clothing to try to get some momentum going in my store. So with the 20% off sale, it sold for $23.04. Let me see if I can get a close-up of the color. That's a little better. I always make sure, well, you can see there. Yeah, here's one. I always make sure to include pictures of the measurements, because even though it has a size and the tag, you know, you never know exactly, especially in women's clothing, how exactly that's going to fit. So I usually do a full length measurement and across the chest and across the shoulders at minimum. I usually try to do the sleeve also, although it looks like I didn't do that this time. There's another good picture of the design. So that's what I do on my clothing, and it seems to be working. I'm selling a few pieces each week. I've never sold clothing before June of this year. It was something I jumped on because we have a great source at a local thrift store that sells clothing for 45 cents on Tuesdays. I've said that a million times in my videos, but I'm enjoying kind of learning what sells and what doesn't. I've got a lot more things listed than I have sold, which is good, but you know, I don't know what's going to sell and what isn't, but I'm starting to learn what sells. I've been doing well with skirts and sweaters pretty well, and especially skirts that are like a unique print. I've had quite a few of those that have sold. So that's it for this week. Again, my total sales was $198.30 and cost of goods $9.83, and my approximate take home was $111. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy content like this, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, and I appreciate it, and we'll see you next week. Thanks so much.